Good morning, Chris Whelan here from the Wellington Center of Business Excellence, building better businesses. I want to talk to you today about something which is absolutely crucial: time and money. Time and money, the two massive variables that all of us face. And you all know that I'm a business leadership coach. And for many, many years, I've been saying that you've got to keep score. You've got to know exactly what you're doing. You've got to measure things. And all of that's true. Of course, you can't manage what you can't measure. I absolutely endorse that. In the game of business, we keep score by the profit we make. Absolutely right. And it's a good thing, because without profit in a business, pretty soon you haven't got a business, right? So no question of that. But I have wondered over the last little while whether people confuse the issue of time and money. We've all been brought up, or many of us have been brought up with the adage that time is money. But that's not true. That's absolutely not true. Time is not money. Time is infinitely more valuable than money. And I want to talk to you today a little bit about that and why that's important. Because when you're running a business, if you're a business owner like myself, when you're running a business, there's three things that typically things come down to when you want your business to improve. Either you want more time, right? So you want more time with your family, you want more time to work on your business, not just in it. You get to the end of the day and you don't want to have a list that's still 100 miles long. So you want more time, or you want better teams. You want your teams to actually do what you tell them to do. You want them to be more productive, right? So that gives you a better flourishing business. So time, teams, and then ultimately you want to make more money, because, as I say, that's how you keep score. But those three variables all play together. It's not one or the other most of the time. So, as I say, time and money, not the same thing. Let's just look for a moment. If you're not quite convinced yet, let's look for a moment at what happens if a person doesn't. If a person says time is money, or a person says time is the most, if a person doesn't have the time, right? So they say, look, they want the money, but they don't want the time. Well, if you run out of time, ultimately you're going to plateau, and your business is going to plateau. You're going to hit a ceiling. And I'll tell you in a moment why that is the case. But the bottom line is that if you haven't got the time, you haven't got the thinking behind what you're doing, you're going to hit a ceiling. You might make money, and I don't dispute that. In the short term, you can, but you're going to hit a ceiling, you're going to hit a plateau. So that's point number one. Point number two, and this is absolutely critical because we're in business so we have more life. Your work-life balance is going to get out of balance. And if you have no time, you just work, 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 work. Even if you make lots of money, you get out of balance pretty quickly. And that's not a healthy situation to be in, right? So that's not ideal at all. So that's the second point. And in fact, it's probably the second and the third point, because your health then suffers. The fourth point is that all of those things combined, if you have a family, if you have people that you want to spend time with, they're going to suffer because you haven't taken the time. You might have made lots of money. It's the old Scrooge McDuck thing, right? We all know about that. The flip side of that, if you find that you use time to make money, there's a couple of things that happen there, and I want to talk to you about them. Firstly, you have much more thinking time. With more thinking, you get more innovation. With more innovation, you have more opportunities, right? So time, thinking, innovation, opportunities. Obviously, your well-being goes up as well, because let's assume, and I'll come back to this, but let's assume you've made the money, you've got a certain amount of money, but you've got a better well-being. You're spending time with your family, you're getting outdoors, your employees are enjoying it as well, because they are better off. Their well-being is better off. That's the second point. The third thing is you're actually then building a sustainable business, not just a business that's driving purely for financial all the time. And the fourth thing coming out of that is that your prosperity, the overall prosperity, increases, right? So some pretty key issues there. Time gives you thinking, gives you innovation, gives you opportunities. Your well-being improves. Your family, your employees' well-being improves. Your business becomes much more sustainable, and of course, ultimately leads to prosperity. Now, if you move from purely financial, and I'm a business person, right? As I said earlier, without the profit, you don't have a business, so you absolutely have to have profit. But when you are moving from purely financial to a more holistic view of business, that becomes important. It's not an either or, it's really absolutely a both and. And I want to talk to you and encourage you to engage with that. It's a both and, not an either or. You need to value efficiency, you need to value innovation, you need to value well-being, right? Efficiency, innovation, well-being, absolutely critical. And then you can have creative and strategic thinking coming out of that. And the point, I suppose, that people sometimes miss is that money is simply an idea backed by action. If you have great ideas and you take action, people reward you because you add value to their lives. They reward you and they pay you. That's how money gets generated. If you have great ideas but you don't take action, clearly that's not going to work. Or if you take lots of action but with bad ideas, similarly, not going to work. So just bear that in mind as you're thinking about it. So how then does one do it? And I've come up with 5 ways that I think you can get the balance right and build that sustainable business and build the prosperity, right? So it's and each time. One, implementing time-efficient processes. Eliminate the bottlenecks. Implement time-efficient processes. Focus on being efficient, focus on being effective, right? Point number one, time-efficient processes. Point number two, fostering a culture of innovation. Encourage your team, encourage your employees to think out the box, to spend a bit of time over a cup of coffee, think out the box and find new ways of doing stuff, because that culture of innovation will drive the whole business forward. Point number three, promoting work-life balance. Absolutely critical for yourself, for your employees, for your teams. You'll have loyalty when they know that you actually care genuinely about them, right? So promoting a culture of work-life balance. Point number four, measuring success in outcomes, not in hours. Please don't measure success in hours. Measure success in outcomes, because the task is not the point. The point is the outcome, right, that you're trying to achieve. So measure success in outcomes is point number four. Point number five, implementing a robust training and development program. That's critical. If people have better skills, better capabilities, they can do things differently, right? So let's just recap those 5 things again. 1, implementing time-efficient processes. 2, fostering a culture of innovation. 3, promoting work-life balance. And 4, measuring success in outcomes, not in hours. And 5, implementing a robust training and development program. Why does that work? Because you end up with more profit, you end up with a better team, you end up with highly adaptive, highly agile business, which is ultimately sustainable. If any of this resonates with you, please get hold of me. My telephone number is 0222332669, or give me an email at chris@wcbe.co.nz. I'd be absolutely thrilled to give you a complimentary 60 to 90-minute strategy consultation to make sure that we can get this to work in your business. In the meantime, have a fantastic week, and I look forward to chatting with you again soon. Bye-bye.